All right, greetings and welcome to the Supply Drop, episode 45, a game podcast created by three people who know there aren't enough podcasts out there. My name is Nate. I'll be your host. I'm joined by two other co-hosts, the first of which is Scott.
Hello.
Scott, we don't discuss this much with you, but you're a music guy.
Yep.
I want you to recommend to me and Thick and our listeners a modern day musical artist that you think people should check out.
A modern day musical. Tycho.
Someone, what's their name?
Tycho.
Like the kids truck company, like those little Tycho RC cars.
Is it? How do you spell it?
It's actually, I think it's Tycho.
CH.
All right, so it is different than the RC company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those are that doesn't have an H in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Yeah.
I'll be checking that out. All right. And can you give us a little primer on them? Like, what
Yeah,
are we...
it's all instrumental except for a few albums. He does have some vocalists, but he does all of the music on his own. And I can't remember the name. The guy's, I think his name is like Scott Harrison or Harrington or something. I think he's Dutch, but he does all the music himself. And I like it. I mean, I think it's great.
One more question for you.
Yep.
Picture a scene in your life. What is the best? What should you be doing while you're listening to Tycho? Some music kind of fits vibes differently, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, I would say probably you could be exercising or running.
Okay, so it's energy. There's some energy to it.
There's some energy to it, or maybe just relaxing. Or probably a good time would be maybe on your way home from work. How about that? Stressful day, just pop it in and
podcast music.
There's some verses. Yeah, don't listen to them right now.
Not
Don't
really.
listen to Tycho right now.
Right? Yeah. Just look it up.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That other voice you heard is none other than Thick, Sir Bartholomew Thick, right?
In the flesh, in the audio, yes.
Yes. Thick, I have a question for you.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's gonna flip it on you? Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna flip it on you. Well,
That's fine.
Okay. Well, we're all drivers, right?
Yeah.
So, what's worse to you, someone that uses their turn signals improperly or someone that doesn't use their turn signal? Let me give you an example of someone that uses it improperly.
Yes.
They turn it on right when they're about to turn.
So it's a late turn signal.
Yeah, something like that.
Or someone that doesn't.
Yeah,
I think
it just doesn't at all.
Go ahead.
I would say clearly there's one right answer here. It's someone who at least makes the attempt to do it.
Yeah, I would say that. I would rather have an indicator than no indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I asked this question because I get this. This happens to me a lot. I'm trying to make like a right turn onto a road, and then like someone uses their turn signal, but they're not turning. Like they're probably turning maybe like right after me.
Yeah.
Or they use it too late. So like I find this scenario happens
pops
quite
up
a lot
a lot.
to me. Yeah, it pops out a lot. So I notice it.
Okay. I know in my life I am oblivious on the road. I've never had an ounce of road rage. I don't notice things on the road. I'm totally daydreaming the entire time.
That's probably for the better.
Yeah. Well, it depends if you hit people or not,
Of course.
Of course. Thick, do you want your question or should we just move on? I could couch it
Give
for
me
next
the
week.
question. Give me the question.
Thick, the company who's in charge of the James Bond franchise has hired you to consult with them on the future of the franchise. Tell me one change you'd make to the future James Bond movies. What does the James Bond movie need to do to become more successful or more relevant?
You're asking the wrong person for this because I don't like James Bond really.
Well, hey, no, maybe I'm asking the right question.
Yeah,
Why don't you like
maybe.
James Bond?
What
Like,
would
what-
make you like James Bond? Yeah.
What would make me like James Bond more? I don't know. I think the formula works. It's just not for me. That's all I can really say.
Okay. I feel like I've noticed James Bond was like, obviously it's an old franchise, and a big aspect of that franchise is like you're going to exotic locales.
Yeah. That's
But
like
I'm
a
like,
trademark, I feel.
yes, but in 2023, every kid opens their phone and all their TikTokers are doing it from Bermuda. They're doing it from
Right.
Russia. They're doing like I don't think people like care about like, oh, they're in Beijing or they're in like a unique international city anymore, like they were in the 70s or the 60s. You know,
But we
Right.
should add more influencers to the movie, right?
that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Vic, yes.
Okay.
I'm glad you say
Nice.
that. I'm glad you say that. Yeah. And Scott, any other additions there? Other than more influences with
Yeah, I think that's
That is
pretty
a
much.
good
I think that's what's going to save James Bond.
A quick thing though, I know it's rumored that Idris Elba will be the new James Bond.
Yeah.
Fan or not? I like him. I think that he'd be.
I do too, but
I do too.
I concern about. He's in his late 50s, I think.
I don't think he looks like he's in his late 50s.
No, he doesn't.
does
but
not. He does
but
not.
you know, when you sign up for James Bond, you know that might be it might be a 2-movie deal. It might be a 10-movie deal. You know.
Yeah.
I would.
How many did Daniel Craig make?
4
4 or 5.
4.
Okay.
Was it
4? I don't know. I'm always forgetting one. Maybe it is 5.
He's made one good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would be concerned with. I think that it's time to maybe get a younger.
I
James
have a
Bond?
suggestion. I got a suggestion.
What's that?
What about Anthony Mackie?
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate that guy. I hate that guy.
He's not British,
No, he's
That's
not
true.
British.
or is
But
he?
I always,
I don't know. He might be.
every once in a while, like I feel he's so wooden and so like he has no range, and
Yeah.
he's in so many movies.
Yeah, he's in a lot of movies, but
know?
yeah, no, yeah, somebody. It's got to be somebody British. My
Okay.
pick is, and I can never remember his name, but the guy that played Quicksilver in the Marvel movies. He also played Kick-Ass. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Oh, I can't picture his name. I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, I can never remember his name, but I think he's a great actor. He's the right age,
Yeah.
but that's my pick anyway.
Okay.
I just like him.
Hope-
I feel like some people might not like him for the way he looks for the role. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't look like he did in
Yeah,
Marvel
he
movies,
wouldn't,
obviously.
of
but,
course.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a great segment. That should be a
Yeah, that's
YouTube
it.
short.
That's
that could
it,
be a
we're
YouTube
done.
short right there. Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. Make it.
All right, guys, real quick, you got to listen to me talk. In this week's podcast, we'll be covering the newly released Diablo 4, the MetaQuest 3, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and we even cover next week's Xbox Showcase. Before we get started, I want to remind listeners they can drop us a comment, question, or insult at the Supply Drop Podcast YouTube channel. Scott,
Yep.
how'd the week go?
The week went good. The week, I don't remember Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, until about 6 o'clock on Thursday. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's when Diablo 4 dropped. If you got the special edition, which
Uh-huh.
It's
I
$90,
did,
right?
it was.
Or
So it's 30 extra bucks.
$100.
Wait a
Yeah.
second. Is it 30 extra bucks? What
It's
else
a
do you get?
$70 game, right? So
Yeah, it's a $60 game, and then you've got the deluxe version and then the ultimate version. The ultimate version, I think, is like 109 or something like that. No, it's like 120.
I think it's 100.
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah,
Can I, real quick before you get into it, can I just ask one question?
yeah,
What do you think if that became the norm for all AAA releases?
isn't it?
Hey, no, I don't. That's definitely not the norm. If you want to play a week early, you got to give us 30 extra bucks. Do you guys like that, or would you not like that?
Oh, I don't necessarily like that, but my wife bought it for me as kind of a surprise. So, yeah. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done that.
Okay,
but-
I gotcha.
I don't condone in pre-ordering games anyway, especially God, in the last couple of years, we've just gotten some terrible titles at launch. But after 3 betas, I was really confident that I knew what I was getting and the stability of it. And I think I mentioned last time with the Server Slam, the performance was just amped up. I mean, the difference between like the second beta and the actual release, as far as like the quality and what my PC settings are and everything, just is night and day. So,
Okay.
but yeah, don't really. It's kind of a one in a 4 or 5 year thing that I would do.
It was nice. Your wife knows that you were excited.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Well, is there anything new to add in terms of, you're playing the full release now?
Not really. I mean, I do have one character that I'm playing as what is it? Hardcore, and that is if you die, you die. You
Yes.
you actually like lose everything.
Love it.
So yeah, and apparently there's the first I think 1,000 people that make a level 100, you get your name on a statue.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It- There's a little controversy in that. You've heard of it, right? Or
No.
where it's
well,
like
my
people
name's not
that
on it. That's the controversy.
yeah, I think it's like people that make a hardcore character now, like they have some people have all the knowledge because they're early access or they're streamers.
Yeah. I mean, it's if you want to do it and if you want to get ahead, you're going to have to pay extra, right? I mean, you're going to have to get that early access because
That too, yeah.
you're losing 4 days or whatever, to get your name on that. But after playing it, I don't know if that's really a factor. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, it's really difficult. So my wife and I, we both have characters that are hardcore, and we're trying to help our friend, get to 100, level 100. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it wouldn't be a Blizzard launch if they didn't have something that was overly monetized and partially controversial, right?
Right.
So,
I have a question for you.
Tradition.
Yeah.
Scott, if one of your group, so is everyone in your group, they're playing on this hardcore mode?
Well, we all have like regular characters, but yeah,
But you have hardcore characters as well?
right. We're running the hardcore and going through the story. Yeah.
So my question is, if you're all playing on a hardcore run and one of you dies, does that basically split up the group? Are you like, the group's over?
For that one person, yeah. I mean, you can't be
Oh, okay.
revived. I mean, it's not normally you would have a revive if you were in a group. You have like I don't know, like 10 seconds or something. Somebody can come pick you up. But in
okay.
hardcore, apparently, yeah, when you die, you're dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. Okay.
Are you playing on World Tour 1 or 2 for hardcore? Oh, okay. Hardcore indeed.
Yeah,
Wow. He says it with a little bit of swagger.
2.
Maybe. Well, because I'm playing. I'm pretty much playing the same thing. That's pretty much my weekend. There's no Tears of the Kingdom yet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Nintendo is pissed at you. They should send their ninjas over to your house.
They're gonna come get it back. They're gonna throw $70 in your face. Just give it back.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Thick, what's something
What can
that you
I add, right?
What can you add to this? Yeah.
Playing, I did encounter a couple bugs. So I
really?
Yeah, I did
encountered
too.
a bug.
Yeah.
What bugs did you encounter?
There was one where I went into a section that I was supposed to find Nayrel, I think is her name, and she wasn't there. There was nobody in there. There was no enemies,
yeah.
no anything. So I had to go out. I had to actually quit my game and then go back and start that quest from the town from the beginning, or that quest step really.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started there, and then when I went back, everything was fine. But it did set me back about 20 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, I had a couple issues like that, especially around that quest. I didn't have any issues in the beta at that quest. But when I enter, was it the mines or whatever in that?
Right.
It skips me like that first half of the mine. I'm all the way at the one door where she has to crawl through, right? So it sends me straight there for some reason, and it happened on 2 characters.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. And I look at other playthroughs and they don't have this issue. So I wonder if it has anything to do with me playing, like, the betas or anything. But who knows?
I don't know. They did release a patch today, and it did have a long list of, unfortunately, some nerfs, a couple of buffs, and some fixes.
I heard about that.
So, yeah, so maybe that's one of the fixes. But all in all, other than a little bit of lag here and there, I haven't really experienced anything game breaking or anything that was a bug that kept me from enjoying the game at all. It's really fun and really addictive.
Yeah, I would say this is pretty feature complete for a Blizzard game.
Oh man,
Like-
yeah.
Like each character takes probably at least like 100 hours, maybe possibly.
Oh, maybe so.
It's that much.
Yeah. But if you do finish the campaign and create another character, you can skip the campaign if you want to. Yeah.
And
So
the campaign is good. Like, there's a lot of like good content in there.
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. So
How many hours are both you into this full release?
I think I'm like
I don't know.
18 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I'm around 10 altogether. Probably maybe a little more. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it, but I was looking at a website the other day, and System Shock was released as well. I played the demo of that, and I really like it. I will probably get it at some point, but it's just funny to see like Diablo and System Shock in the news. It feels like 1996 again. Mm-hmm. It's just like two games that you never thought you would see like in headlines again in 2023. So yeah, that's a good thing. Two excellent games.
Yeah, actually Diablo 4, actually all the games this week reviewed very well. System Shock has been pretty good. Diablo, Street Fighter 6 as well.
Oh yeah, a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, and I did play the demo for Street Fighter 6 this week, and I'm not a fighter fan. It's just not my thing.
You're a lover,
right?
Yes. Yeah. But I would say it feels pretty good. It looks really good. So I think they have like a nice meaty single player if someone's just interested in playing that. Mm-hmm. Just to get the ropes of the game. It looks like it could be a fun time.
The single player doesn't take cues from the Mortal Kombat, does it? Like
I don't think so. Like the Mortal Kombat one is like pretty meaty with cutscenes and stuff, right?
This one's not.
I think there's a lot of cutscenes. It seems a little bit more nonsensical and a little bit more lighthearted.
Is it just kind of like a setup? Like they show up and they have some kind of like dialogue, with the other character.
To an extent. But there's like a world you can kind of walk around in, and you could challenge anyone. And they have like a make your own fighter kind of thing. So basically, they just random generate people you could fight, and then it levels up your character in some way. It's a little bit different. It's a lot different than the actual fighting game.
That's interesting. Still not going to play it, but that sounds interesting. Well, I mean, that's one genre that needs to grow and expand. And kind of do something new. You can't just keep having to beat them up. And maybe Mortal Kombat 1, isn't it called 1? I think, or MK1. Yeah, maybe they'll have something along those lines as well.
Guys, go ahead, Thick.
Oh yeah. Just one thing about Street Fighter 6 again is a lot of people are saying it's pretty feature complete as well. So that's good to see. So far, a good streak this week.
Yeah, good releases, working. Actually working, and I think just to mention, Thursday when it came out, I couldn't get on for about an hour. No, it was almost about 2 hours. Now my wife got on like without any issues whatsoever for some reason, and then so I had to wait about 2 hours. So I didn't really play very long at all on Thursday. I think Thick, you were having issues as well, or did you just skip it?
I signed them 5 hours later.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
The next morning, Saturday morning, I got, and then there was no queue at all. I logged in Diablo 4 like it was, been out forever. So
let's see how it goes. Was it tomorrow, right? Oh no, actually
Tuesday.
2 days.
Yeah. Let's see when. Yep.
Guys, I can't talk about 2 games as a service titles without asking you guys probably one of my favorite questions in all.
Oh yeah, $25 costumes. I mean, it's
no. This is even a better question. This is a better question.
Okay.
All right, I say honeymoon period ends for games around 3 months after release. That's
okay.
My thing,
I would say
right?
1 month.
Well, with these titles, I feel like it might be shorter because these guys are like the people who know Diablo. They're into Diablo. The people who are tertiary.
It's an established IP.
It's established, right?
Right.
But let's say, for the sake of whatever, 3 months is what we're going on. Where does Diablo 4 and Street Fighter 6, where does it settle on Xbox Live's most played in 3 months?
Ooh.
So I want to kind of want to tell you right now, like right now, number 1 is Fortnite. Number 6 is Rainbow Six Siege. Mm-hmm. I think 17 is Rocket League. Overwatch is right after that. Grand Theft Auto Online is 20, which is pretty low. Dead by Daylight is right next to.
What about Roblox?
Roblox is 3.
Nice.
So where on that list, if you could just pick a number?
In 3 months,
Yes.
I'd say Diablo 4 is probably going to be in the 20s, maybe high 20s, low 30s.
So let's say around 30. What do you think?
I'd
I'm
say.
saying 20s probably.
Yeah.
So we'll say mid-20s for
Yeah.
Thick.
They'll release like a season, or they'll release some kind of DLC, and then it'll spike up again, and then it'll go.
It's hard to say though
Okay.
how the DLC will
Yeah.
will go.
Right.
Like
It doesn't.
they might lose some people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel. One of the things I was worried about is that it was going to feel like a live service game. It was going to be like something that there was going to be a lot of FOMO, a lot of this is happening now. You got to log in and And honestly, just playing with me and my wife, just playing the game, it feels much like Diablo 2. You see other players come by, but it's not. It doesn't feel, not yet anyway. So I'm hoping that after the launch and after the reviews are completely done and everything, they don't just start dropping in stuff that's just ridiculous. But so far, it doesn't feel like I was afraid it would. It just feels like a Diablo game, and I think that's a good thing. But I will say, on Friday morning, it had to be like 12 hours after release. A guy came by on his horse, and I was playing. I was like level 2 or 3. And he was like level 39, and had
Really?
I'm like, this guy didn't sleep. He didn't sleep at all. I mean, he's been as soon as it launched, he's been playing nonstop. So, and I started to see more players like that, like 38, 32. So,
I do wonder if there are any like houses, like picture a frat house or a house with like 3 or 4 gamer friends together, and they're like, dude, let's never shut this game off. Like, I'll play 6 hours.
I do not doubt that, especially
probably.
well, it's summer, right? So people have time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right,
Imagine
guys,
that.
should I get into my small talk real quick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, this is small talk, so we don't have to talk about gaming stuff in it, right? I'm a curmudgeon when it comes to movies. I'm officially the old person who says they don't make movies like they used to. Movies today are no good, and I shake my fist, right?
Right.
Yesterday, I saw a movie that's a great movie, and it's a modern day movie that I recommend to everybody. Prisoners by Dennis Villanueva. I think that's his name. Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal are in it. Have either of you seen it?
I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah, never.
Write this down. This is a phenomenal movie. If you like, have you guys heard of like Zodiac?
Oh yeah.
I feel like if you like Zodiac, you're getting a movie with kind of a similar vibe. It's maybe a little more intense, a little more emotional.
Kind of a slow burn. Yeah.
A little slow burn, but there's definitely high points where you're like, I can't believe that just happened in it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the small talk real quick. And then I'm going to move on to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, okay?
Okay.
Last week I told you about a podcast that they offered 2 pieces of advice for the future of Zelda, okay? And I never said what my piece of advice for Zelda would be, okay? So I have 2 pieces of advice for Nintendo. Nintendo has to listen to me because this game's only going to sell 49 million copies, right?
Right.
Battle Royale.
No, I'm taking this seriously, all right? I'm taking this seriously.
Okay.
Number 1. All right, so Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like 15% of the cutscenes, I would say, are borderline Studio Ghibli-esque. Like, they're just, like, so classy. They're so, like, well done. And then you have about 85% of that story where you're watching, like, a duck in diapers being like, Link, I love you. Like, let's go fight bad guys together.
Yeah.
So, a crazy idea. What if, and this is sacrilegious to me, what if they took the story a little more seriously? All right?
What?
I know. I don't usually think like this. Thick, I know you said you spent, 10 or 15 minutes with the game, right? You did say that?
Yeah.
Thick, the game starts with you walking down these basement steps with Zelda for about 15 minutes, and she's like, oh, Link, oh! Like, that's how she kind of talks.
Stuff, yeah.
I instantly want her to die, and Ganon at the end of the 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm Team Ganon. He seems more fun. He seems more interesting. What a crazy idea if you made the bad guy unlikable, and then maybe you kind of wanted to, save Zelda. Isn't that a crazy idea?
Yeah, I know what
Scott,
you mean.
She's
no,
so freaking annoying.
I've watched videos. Yeah, I've watched videos, and it's I can see that, and I think that's just part of Nintendo making games that appeal to a a much broader audience. But by saying that, though, I feel like did you guys play Shadow of the Colossus?
I beat it like 4 giants in it.
Yeah.
I have yet to play it. It's on my backlog.
That to me, if like a slightly more mature Zelda game, I feel like the storytelling could be done like that.
Yeah.
You know, more of it doesn't have to have a lot of story. It just has to have a lot of meaning.
Right. Right.
You know, and more intentional and you know, just quality over quantity storytelling and something like that. And it's there. I mean, it's, you know, it's that studio. I mean, that game is the storytelling they do is all there's almost no words in it at all. You know.
Right. Right.
And it's a beautiful story. And
Yeah.
if they did something like that, I think that for one, it would be more enjoyable for people that enjoy video games, and it would still be understandable and enjoyable for people that are very casual with it or very young. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I agree with you.
And again, there's a character in it. He's like a 6-year-old duck with, I swear he has diapers on. I'm picturing him with diapers on, and I swear to you, he's like
Duck diapers.
He's like Link, I gotta come with you. We gotta go take this big boss down together. And I'm like, I don't want to hang out with a duck in diapers. All right. And I don't even think a lot of 8-year-olds want to hang out with the duck in diapers, right?
You're talking about the bird character, aren't you? Right?
I'm talking about this bird. And it's like a little kid bird, and he's like so freaking annoying. He's the worst. I want to kill him, and I want to kill Zelda. They don't let you kill either of them though. It's not truly an immersive sim.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there are mods on the PC.
Eventually. But wait, real quick, I want to throw this at you too because this is my second recommendation for Zelda. So remember last week, I'm officially over the honeymoon phase. Like I don't even know if I'm going to pick this game up again. Last week I said like I was addicted to these little nuggets that they'd feed you. So the game rewards players like, hey, you want to do this like 10-minute shrine? We're gonna give you either a health upgrade, an endurance upgrade, carry capacity upgrade, rupees, which is currency, or I guess loot.
Okay.
And I'm at the point, you know, I don't know if I'm 10, 15 hours in. I don't care about any of the upgrades. They're all dead boring to me. You know, I feel like you gotta be rewarding players with something that's actually interesting. Like at no point do I think like, oh, you know, now that I have this item, I can attack things in this different, unique way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's 96 on Metacritic, Game of the Year, and yet I'm like, it'd be so interesting to me if we re-scrambled who comprises of Metacritic and just maybe normal people did it. You might get a lower score if you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've all talked about Metacritic, and it's not something. I don't personally go to Metacritic and let that be my deciding factor for the next game I buy. Right. You know, because just go look at the reviews for The Last of Us 2. They're phenomenal. I that's my most hated game ever. So but yeah, it's. I think that. I don't know. Zelda is just an odd animal. I mean, you know, they kind of reinvent it every time they make it, unless it's a sequel like this one. But
it seems like they're gonna stick with the open world formula from.
I would think so. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But maybe next time, and when they reinvent it and it comes out on the Switch 2 or whatever it is, maybe it'll.
Yeah. You know, you guys are gonna laugh when I say this because I sound like a crazy person, but what if the next Zelda was a roguelite. Like imagine a 5-hour story in which you could actually die and you'd have to restart. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be terrible. Think about all the stuff that you make and then crash with it, and then you just have to start from the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they could do a spin-off.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Cell developers.
Yeah, a more like a smaller version or small.
Yeah.
I could even
They've done it before.
Yeah, something like Below. Did you guys ever play Below? Just a roguelite.
To.
Yeah, everybody did, and it was just incredibly difficult. But something like that, something that's not like a full-blown AAA title. But
yeah. And again, real quick, there's this boss that you play. It's a boss you put on all the commercials because it's visually very interesting. And
Mm-hmm.
halfway through this boss fight, I'm like, if they make me fight this thing again, because it's just like you understand the pattern instantly with this boss fight. You just have to do these three things. Like this is the phase one, phase two, phase three. And in my opinion, once I understand that pattern, I'm like, I'm dead bored with the thing. And even though it's
Yeah.
going to take me 8 minutes to kill this boss, if they make me put 16 minutes on this boss, I'm gonna shake their throats.
You know, about
Theoretically.
that, I do feel like Nintendo. This is like a Nintendo formula, and they've kept it in a lot of their
Yeah.
games. They do it in a Splatoon, and they've kind of kept it in Zelda too. It seems like it's a approachable way.
It's
you know,
approachable.
just to reach more of a bigger audience. In a way.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
hear. Yeah,
I'd
you're
say so.
100% right.
Yeah.
And again, it's like this is going to be the best-selling Nintendo,
Yeah.
know, game of all time. So it's like they really shouldn't listen to me. They really shouldn't. All right. Before we kick things off, let's go to our listener feedback segment. Here's where listeners of the Supply Drop participate in the discussion by going to the Supply Drop Podcast YouTube channel and dropping a question, comment, or devastating insult. Let's go over to our listener feedback correspondent, Thick, and see what he has for us this week.
As the dashboard loads, let me see.
For our audio listeners, Thick is feverishly going to,
Yes.
to our YouTube site to see if there's anything there.
Thick definitely looks like a local news anchor right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nothing today.
Nothing today. All right.
Not today.
This week's listener feedback segment was brought to you by the Whig Party. Their slogan is, "We regret the signing of the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854 and will work hard to re-earn your trust."
Okay.
So it's interesting where we're getting our sponsors from, you know. A lot of
from a time machine, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, let's go to the drop, the segments of our podcast where we talk about last week's most intriguing news stories. Scott, save the podcast.
Okay, well, we know that the Xbox Showcase is next weekend as of recording this. It's on June 11th. And they they put something on their YouTube and Twitter site. It was a teaser for something. So if you haven't seen it, if you're on our YouTube, it will be showing as we're talking about this. But if you're our audio listeners, I'll explain it. It was a controller on a table with purple glitter and a person's hand looking at it, and then following a trail of purple glitter up the stairs into an office to a desk that had the name Melissa McGamepass on it, to a keyboard covered in glitter and a desk covered in glitter, and then the showcase on the screen. And it says, "Looks interesting. See you June 11th." Now, the music in the background was very reminiscent of the Fable soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you watch the video, now everybody's freaking out because they think that Fable's going to be at the showcase. I don't think that. I think that it's either going to be like a compilation of the previous ones, if anything. But if you look at the screen, their new like showcase logo or video, it looks like purplish glitter, purple and blue kind of background glitter. So I think it was more of just, this is showing you going up the stairs and going to a computer to show you the date of the showcase. So, but I don't know. I mean, everybody's flipping out about it. So,
I'm it doesn't really matter, I guess, because we'll know in a week. But
Yeah.
I didn't think much of it, really. I really just thought I was talking about the date. But then again, I watched it without audio. So
yeah, you have to listen to it. The music, like I said, is it's a little out of place, like not something you would play during something like this, and it's very, very Fable-esque. So, take that what you mean, but if there's nothing Fable there, I think that maybe their marketing team is not doing their job very well, or they're not. I thought they were being a little bit
marketing's
clever.
always been questionable.
Yeah, it's always been
right?
kind of a hit or miss on that. So I don't know. But as soon as that hit, I went to Twitter and people were just like blowing up about it. So we'll see. I mean, that is an indication it will be next week.
Let me ask you a question. Is glitter somehow associated with the franchise?
Not at all.
No.
No.
So the only real link is the music.
The music and glitter is, one person put it, has been attributed to like fairies and fairy dust and things like that.
I was
Okay.
thinking about that
In
too.
Fable, which I guess you can do that too. But it just, to me, it looks like the background of the logo, behind the logo
Yeah.
of the, so I think it was
okay.
more
And
of like, hey, let's
It
use
looks like a
this.
huge mess too. That's gotta be a pain to
Oh
clean
my
up.
God, if I did that, my wife would kill me.
Yeah, I hate glitter.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, that's why you have glitter bombs, because it's hard to get out of anything.
Yeah.
So good luck with that. Maybe they'll just leave that there for next year's showing, inadvertently. But I do have another story, and this one will hopefully be our last Redfall story. But we've talked about Redfall, and we've had our own take on what probably happened with this game, and I think that we were kind of right. So Bloomberg had a report that ZeniMax, before they were bought by Xbox, of course, much like a lot of other companies, were wanting to make a live service game. So they went to Arcane Studios, and Harvey Smith and Ricardo Bear, I believe is how you say his name, pitched Redfall as a multiplayer arcade game. So the team members started the game, but were really confused. There seemed to be a lot of tension between what the game was going to be and what it was supposed to be. And essentially, over that period, 70% of that team left because they didn't want to work on they were a single-player studio and didn't want to work on a live service multiplayer game. Which, we kind of felt that, and I said that, I think a couple of shows ago, is that it felt like this was not an Arcane game. It looked like it, but it didn't feel like it, and it wasn't, it didn't feel like that's the studio that made it. And apparently it wasn't. They had to get help and other things. So and there were a lot of people there that were hoping once Microsoft had bought them that they would cancel it, but they didn't. So I don't think they really looked at it or gave it much thought. So really just a kind of a sad story, and not really surprising, but it does shed some light on why Redfall was in the state it was when it was released. So
Yeah.
Shout out to Bloomberg for getting the lowdown on that. And
So Jason Schreier, right? He's the one that also
Yeah.
released the Anthem
yeah,
one, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like he always has these stories, but you have to also be careful about some of the things he say. I feel like he takes some liberty in some of what he says to just kind of feed into what the article is about.
journalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You just got blocked. You just got blocked, Vic.
maybe.
Yeah.
I know I've heard he's done that before, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, all journalists
like
do that.
Yeah, I like his work for the most part, but sometimes he takes a little bit extra liberty with this stuff. So.
Yeah, there's been people that have come out and said, "Wait a minute, nobody said that." But I mean, I think it just kind of sheds a little light on what happened and what's going on at Arcane. Prey was a fantastic game. It was critically acclaimed. It just didn't sell very well at all. Probably because they had to name it Prey, which was kind of dumb on Bethesda's part. So maybe this is, in a way, the last of Bethesda's bad ideas, and now it's in the hands of Microsoft. I don't know. Trying to be positive about it, because I am a huge Arcane fan, and I hope that whatever they're working on now is going to be much better than that.
Yeah, hopefully. They said
Yeah.
70% of the staff, right? It's kind of like
70,
changed.
yeah.
Allegedly, of course.
Well,
we don't
allegedly,
know
but
everything.
yeah, but that was just from that project. So it's not like
Yeah.
they lost 70% of Arcane. That was just 70% of the people that started work on Redfall.
okay.
That could have been, 15 people. We don't know.
And it would also be probably pertinent to know what is the typical churn rate on these 6-year dev cycle games. Like I'm sure it's not 0%.
Right. I mean, people
Probably
come and
not.
go and move on, or And we've seen people that, you know, for that next project or whatever, they're like, I don't want to do that again, you know, or I don't want to make whatever number 6, you know, I want to move on. It doesn't mean that the studio's in trouble and everything's, you know, going crap, but this is a terrible game. So it's, you know, for me, it's just like, I want to know why. And we kind of guess this, and we're seeing some reports of it actually happening.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense of why that game was released that way. But in all honesty, I think that, you know, I think anybody would agree that Microsoft should have just canceled it, and, you know, and they're probably just going to let it die. So,
yeah, I find this another case of developers being given a genre that they don't really have experience in, right?
Yeah, Anthem. Anthem was a good example of that. Right.
The Avengers, I think so too. Like if you play the single player, it's like it's competent in the Avengers.
I actually enjoyed the single player game. I think is solid and it's enjoyable. And immediately finishing that, you should, you know, just uninstall it. You're done. But well, that's just kind of when, you know, who's making these decisions for all of these studios? I don't think it's the developers. Much like this one. I don't
think so, yeah.
You know, it's got to be probably the publishers going, hey, we need one of those. We need 3 of those. You know, we're seeing Sony do this now. They're like looking at their numbers and their projections, and they're going, we don't have anything that's like pulling in money. You know, once God of War Ragnarok comes out and it sells that 10 million copies or that 12 million or that 13 million or whatever it's going to do, then they're not going to, you know, that isn't keeping the lights on after that. So then they go to all their studios and they're, you know, hey, we need to make this. You make a Destiny, you make a Division, you do this, you do that, and now we're seeing the fall of that. Where's Skull and Bones?
Yeah,
you know, So
maybe Summer Games Fest.
Ubisoft Direct coming the 12th.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I think it's canceled.
All right. Scott, I think you did a bang up job this week.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely
excellent.
Yeah, a lot of times you really mess it up, but not this week, Scott. Not this week.
There you go.
Yeah, get a clap.
Thick, what was what are your news stories?
Oh, okay, there's a spicy little news story from Nintendo, just kind of like a stealth drop news in a way. Everybody 1-2 Switch is a sequel to the 1-2 Switch hit that came out launch, is releasing, I think, digital only, or actually no, They announced it like on Twitter, a $30 sequel to 1-2 Switch.
What was 1-2 Switch?
It's basically a tech demo for the Switch. I don't know if
so
you
it just
remember.
Utilized all its kind of features.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a party game.
Yeah, where you could like take the Joy-Cons and like 2 people could separate
could
them and
milk
play
a
on the
cow
same.
in it. I don't know if you guys remember that mini game.
Yeah.
So this was rumored for a while, but it's just like a $30 drop. I feel like it's something that they didn't know what to do with, and they're just letting it, you know, releasing it to kind of, I guess, die quietly in a way.
They're redfalling it.
Yeah, in a way. But I mean, at least they dropped the price, right? The original game was like $50, maybe 60, and that was not worth that price. But this one's $30.
This is not the equivalent of like a Wii Sports title.
They tried to. They tried to make it into one, but no.
Well, why the heck didn't it become one?
It was pretty basic from what I saw.
Really?
Like, yeah, it was really to demo the haptics of the controllers. Like, everyone thought it should have been a pack-in when it launched.
Well, you know, let me throw this theory by you. Wii Sports, everyone's got their Wii. They're hooked. It's all hooked up to their TV. The 2 kids are playing it. The adults see the kids playing it, and they're like, "Oh, we could do what you're doing, right?" So, it pulls in a lot of casuals that way, right? Yeah. This game is like it's on everyone's little handheld device. You're an adult, you see the kids playing it, you're like, "Get out of here, little kid." Like, it doesn't have that, like, no one sees a 7-inch screen being like, let's get the whole group around the Switch.
Yeah,
and start playing it.
Well, that's when they announced the Switch, and you know, they showed like these grown adults like at the park, and like 5 of them are standing, you know, playing this game on
Mario
this like
Kart.
this tiny screen,
that.
and it's like, wait, are you serious? Like, who is going to do that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of odd. That sounds like a little bit of a cash grab, maybe. I don't don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't pack it in just to make money, get the return on it, because
Yeah.
they knew it wouldn't be like a Wii Sport.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
What-
I'm curious what they have in this one for $30.
What's the
Scott.
PS5 game with the little robot that showed off the control and everything?
Is it
Astro.
Playroom?
Astro Playroom.
Yeah, now that came with the PS5, right?
Right.
That was
Yeah.
See, that's how you do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Scott, next week, Thick is going to give us his full review on this 1-2 Switch while he leaves Zelda on the
Right.
shelf.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my next story, Meta had a showcase this week. I believe it was Thursday or Wednesday. I forget
Yeah,
the
like
exact
5.
date.
I think they had 5 people show up.
Yeah. It was like, as a showcase, I think they paced it very well. There's a little bit more talking than some of the more recent ones, like other companies, but like, I think this is a better VR showcase than what Sony had. That 10 minutes.
Ooh.
So Assassin's Creed VR will be shown in the Ubisoft showcase. They only mentioned that.
Okay.
But they've announced basically first the MetaQuest 3. They actually released that just as a commercial.
Yeah.
So for everyone to see. It looks pretty good. I think it probably looks better if it was like black. I don't know if you've seen black renders of it, but like
Looks sleeker.
it's sleeker. It's thinner, so it's definitely lighter and more powerful. So it's going the right direction, where you guys were saying like you want a less bulky headset, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It announced several games. Ghostbusters, Stranger Things VR. I mean, most of these are just kind of whatever. They have a NFL game, and it seems like it's getting a sequel. So I think that's good. I think it's officially licensed too.
I've watched a lot of Bills games in my life, and the last season, every third commercial was that VR. Like,
Yeah,
I picture being a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. What's it like? And he puts on the,
Well,
So
hey,
this-
they're advertising. That's better
All right.
than what Xbox is doing.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're actually showing their hardware. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that really stuck out to me was, well, it was not in the showcase, but it was Power Wash Simulator.
Oh my god, yeah,
I
we
think-
saw that in the Discord. I ignored
Yeah.
it. I ignored your.
I know. You put me in timeout. So
What's the price? Or
I
did they
assume
announce
it's
it?
probably around the same price, probably 20, 30. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any reason to think that this has, are we going to see a Horizon, what is it called, the Wild equivalent game on this thing? Or is this severely.
So I think they're doing Asgard's Wrath 2. Now
Wait,
Asgard.
that Capcom game?
No, this is
Asura's
actually.
Wrath. Asura's Wrath.
Yeah, you're thinking of different
Yeah.
game. But like this game was a Oculus Rift game, like the 1st one, and it was touted as a God of War equivalent on
Oh, really?
VR. And
Okay.
I've heard great things about it. I haven't gone around to playing it. You can still play it in some ways. Like you could probably hook your Quest to a PC and do it. But
Okay.
basically, Asgard's Wrath 2 is the sequel. It looks like it's pretty feature-rich, like a 60-hour game is what they're touting.
All right. And it's not
Jeez.
called Asgard's Wrath.
It is
gotta be
called
getting that.
Asgard's.
No one would name their game Asgard. It's not.
Well, not with two S for
Okay.
Asgard.
It's a Viking thing.
All right, fine. So,
Or maybe
Vic,
I'm just saying it weird. Okay, yeah, what's up?
are you picking this up?
The Quest 3, honestly, because it's thinner, I might consider it. I might
Oh,
consider
really?
getting.
You've
Just
got the
because-
2, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit bulky, so like
Yeah.
sometimes you don't feel like taking it out. Like
Yeah.
that's half the battle. Like you don't feel like going into VR and playing it in a way.
Okay.
I mean, and that's probably like a lot of people's thing too, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the effort to put it on and play it. Making it lighter and smaller is the right direction, and it has a little bit more mixed reality features. So like AR, right, where you kind of see things in in person. Yeah, so it does have that, and it's $500, which is
it is $500, okay.
reasonably priced. Yeah,
Yeah. No
And so
PS5 needed. Yeah.
no,
Right. Okay. And then real quick, what is the like? If you went into these companies and you asked them, how come you're designing your hardware so there's a lot of white on it? Look, why are these companies making this hardware white? The PS5 is mostly white.
I feel like it's just a trend right now. Like
So
they'll switch it back. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Like yeah, because like
I
no one really does special colors anymore, and maybe just special
Right.
editions.
I mean,
Yeah.
all honesty, the the Joy Cons or whatever you call them should be like red or orange or safety orange or
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that's another story that they released pastel colored Joy Cons. That was part of the 1-2 Switch story. I just forgot to mention. It doesn't look bad, but not for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you guys seen those cars that they're making? I think Subaru makes them, and there's some other company, maybe Toyota.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like kind of muted color.
I would call it an earth tony color.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they're kind of cool looking though.
Yeah. Looks good
Because
on
it's a
trucks.
neutral color.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see them on trucks a lot. Yeah, like coffee colored almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the gloss too. The gloss is different.
There's something
right?
unique. Yeah, it looks. It
Yeah,
looks.
it's not super shiny. It's not matte. It's like in between.
It's
Yeah.
not a most car colors are there's a depth to them because it's layered. These are like it's they just paint it and then they clear coat it. That's what it looks like. So it's not like it's there's not like it doesn't look like it's they used to call it back in the 50s. What is it like a 100-foot depth or something like I don't remember something
term?
like that. Yeah, so that it gets that depth to it. I don't know.
Oh,
But yeah, it's really cool. Looks like little
Very
Hot
cool.
Wheels to me.
very cool. Yeah. Well, Thick, is that it for you for the news stories?
That's it.
Scott, I think Thick did a pretty good job. This
Yes.
week. Not like
Should I
usually.
get it?
Usually he messes it up.
Should I give myself?
There you go.
There we go.
Self-congratulatory. All right.
All right. I'm gonna fly through these 4 news stories. Okay, I'm gonna fly through them.
Go.
Do it.
Number 1, Antimatter Games is reportedly closing down. Parent company Enad Global 7 said the decision to shutter the studio was made after exploring various strategic options, and the closure will likely take place this summer. The studio is best known for making the Rising Storm game in the Red Orchestra franchise. Do either of you know that? I feel like I've heard that. I've heard of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of Rising Storm, but I couldn't tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah. They were currently working on a game called Project IGI Origins, which was a mix between like Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell. I think the game looked freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember
It was that
seeing
first-person game where you're like sneaking around like military bases at night.
Yeah.
They couldn't get that out the door before they closed shop. So, yeah, pour some liquor out for that studio.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Should I get into news story number 2?
Yes.
You guys are going to like this one. CD Projekt Red has officially announced that The Witcher 3 has sold 50 million copies.
Yeah, heard that.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm going to quiz both of you guys. What is the best-selling linear game in the last 15 years? You each have to
Linear?
come up with the best-selling linear game.
Linear game.
What do you mean by linear?
Like,
Just
you
so
know,
I-
you gotta go from room to room to room
Yeah.
and just punch bad guys, you know, or a racing game. I would consider it linear.
Yeah.
Is it a Mario game? But I don't know.
Not an open world game.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, Mario did sell pretty good. I know the last Mario, I felt like borderline. You could tell it's flirting with open world design, right?
Yeah, it's like semi.
Right. And that one did sell the best of any of them, I think. Scott, do you have an answer?
I don't know if I could even name one that sold well.
I would say God
Tetris.
of War. Tetris, yeah, Tetris. I would actually say Tetris is open world because you got so many options.
That's true.
Scott, Tetris open world game or linear game?
Oh,
Is it a live service game?
Is it?
I think the last version wasn't it? It's
I think it might.
yeah.
Tetris.
You
No.
You get skins for your blocks.
That battle
Yeah.
royale. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
News story number
you
3.
can buy new stuff.
All right.
I have some good news for both of you. You're gonna like this. According to Embracer Group's Q4 and full year report, the Knights of the Old Republic is still under development alongside Relic Hunter Legends, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, and The Remnant 2. Apparently, they're telling people, shareholders perhaps, they're saying, "Hey, we're still working on KOTOR." So I think all 3 of us were like that game we might not see the light of day.
Well, not anytime soon.
Right.
I would say that like before Dead Island 2 came out, but after seeing the third studio finish that game and get it out the door, I have a little bit better hope for KOTOR.
Okay.
I think they did a fantastic job, and it's a really fun game. And nobody actually thought it was going to get released at all.
Yeah. Is KOTOR gonna unseat Jedi Survivor? Is it Jedi Survivor? What's the newest one?
Survivor.
It is Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
Is it gonna unseat Jedi Survivor as the best Star Wars game?
Well, hard to. We don't know anything right now.
I wouldn't call Jedi Survivor the best Star Wars game ever.
What would you?
I would say probably KOTOR.
Oh, you would. You still think it does have that?
Yeah, but having that, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question because, if it comes out again and it's a remake, I mean, is it, it's kind of like the Dead Space debate. Is it a new game?
Yeah.
Is it an old game?
Right.
I just maybe it just depends on what they do with it, but
Right. Okay. All right, my last news story here. Last week, Scott dropped some bait. I didn't pick it up. I showed a certain amount of maturity for not picking up Scott's bait. But when I have two pieces of bait in front of me, I have to pick it up. All right. So you guys know Paul Tassi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you guys see his latest Forbes article?
Of course not.
You had to know I was enraged.
I blocked him.
I don't touch his articles. I just let people sum it up for me. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna sum it up for you. This title was called "Sony's Live Service Triple Down is a Dangerous Road for PlayStation." Ominous, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna read you the whole article, but I picked out 4 things he said in, and then I'm gonna ask you maybe a meta question about it. Okay?
Sure.
Number 1, he says, quote, "Bungie has been tasked with teaching other Sony devs to make their own live service games." I think that phrasing is just insane. It's not correct.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like what we were just talking about. It sounds like when Bethesda goes in and goes, "Hey, you guys need to make this game," right?
Yeah.
I mean, tasked for. Is that what you're trying to say? I mean, because that's what it sounds like.
He says that they've been tasked with teaching Sony devs, which whenever I think of a teacher, I think, okay, you're going to spend a lot of time with your teacher. Mm-hmm. They're going to really mold your future. Clearly, what just happened is Bungie comes into Naughty Dog and they say, let's see your game. We'll study it for a week and then we'll tell you what we think. So the fact that he's like, oh, they're teaching all their studios. It just pissed me off, right?
Yeah, he's being vague about it, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Quote number 2. We have seen many large publishers try and fail to move into the live service space. Both of you know the video game industry better than most. Tell me some large publishers that have tried to move in and have failed.
Where?
So he says, quote, we have seen many large publishers try and fail to move into the live service space. So I guess
Bethesda?
In a way, yeah.
Well,
I don't think Bethesda. No, that's incorrect.
Why?
They keep showcasing that Fallout 76 updates every E3. I'm like, that's a hit.
Well, okay, yeah, actually, they have Elder Scrolls as well.
Elder Scrolls Online, that's another one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess you might has Final Fantasy 14 as well.
Huge hit. That's probably their biggest moneymaker.
Yeah, even
it
Ubisoft
is their biggest moneymaker.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
even Ubisoft has Division 2.
Thank you.
Which were successful.
Thank you for supporting me.
Yeah. I can't really think of one. You got a
can't
point.
Either.
Yeah. So what is he talking about?
It's funny that he can just say that. And then here's the thing I'm always interested in. You can make a claim, then support your claim with evidence. Paul Tassi, he just moves on. He makes a claim and he's like, I'm going to make more
Wait
BS
a minute.
claims.
Is he?
Yes.
Did he move to IGN? Is this an IGN article?
I know. Yes.
Because that's exactly what it sounds like.
Let me get through these next 2 quotes, and then I'm going to hit you with a larger question, okay? The third quote is, quote, many developers have tried to chase Overwatch and failed, and Overwatch itself is borderline failing. It's failing now. Thick, Overwatch is a top 10 most played game on Xbox. It's the top 10 most played game on PlayStation. I should say Overwatch 2.
Right.
In what world is Overwatch 2 a borderline failure of a game?
In the world where you want confirmation bias, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's Overwatch is under fire. It's definitely under fire, but
but that doesn't mean it's a failure. It's probably still racking in. What is his concept of failure? Does he not know that these people make these things to make money?
His concept of failure is, I went on Twitter and a bunch of people agreed that Overwatch is bad.
Well, he takes Reddit
It
articles.
doesn't
all the time
matter
and
if
just
it's good or
regurgitates
bad.
them.
Yeah.
So-
right.
Right. It doesn't matter if
Right.
it's good or bad as long as it's making money.
Right.
But I mean, like as a gamer, yeah, you want a certain amount of quality for some of them, and some of them they fail in terms of the quality aspect. But
Yeah,
that's a different story.
Yeah,
They're not failures.
Right.
Though.
Right. What is his? That's what I'm saying. What is his idea of failure? It's. I mean, there's
He
only.
doesn't. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess a game can fail if it was called, Bob's Deep Sea Fishing, and then you buy it and it's a skateboarding game, right? So
Right.
it completely failed at, everything deep sea fishing. I mean, that
Right.
would be a complete failure. So, but Overwatch is hugely profitable.
Yeah. I spy on Thick all the time, and Thick is playing Overwatch 2 all the time.
Yeah, it's probably just because of him. He's probably like dropping his whole paycheck into it.
Yeah, every week.
Yeah. So,
All right. The last quote, and then I'm going to hit you with the big question. He says, quote, and that's Naughty Dog, not just one of the best single-player developers in the industry, but they have made some legitimately good multiplayer modes for their games in the past. But a PvP-only live service battle pass game is far different than putting a multiplayer mode in your game. So what he's doing here
So
is
I do agree with that. Like it will be treated differently as a single live service game.
Wait, say that in a way that it sinks
okay.
into my brain.
Okay, so putting it into a single live service
Like
game
standalone,
rather than
Yeah.
standalone, instead
Yeah.
of being part of The Last of Us,
Yeah.
will definitely change the tone people approach the game.
You're right. Okay, I see that. Because I think if, the first Factions was not a very ambitious game. It's like a 5-on-5, just, repeat these 5-minute rounds.
Yeah.
And it was just, was it sprinkle on top of a already
Right.
decent cake?
Yeah, so if they do that for The Last of Us 2, The Last of Us 2 is still getting a 96 Metacritic, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I do see your point with that. But I think I bit on this bait where he's like a PvP only live service battle pass game, and I'm like, well, to me that's like what these people try to do. They try to equate the payment model with the genre. And as I'm saying this out loud, I'm not my strongest point, I think, but it's just disrespectful, you guys. It's disrespectful. All right. Let me just hit you with this question though. So this story's getting a lot of run on Reddit and message boards and whatever because you're just getting seals being like, oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's his thing. He totally panders to the Reddit crowd. That's
Yeah.
how he gets clicks. That's how he gets ad rev.
Yeah. It's
So
it's part
go
of the
ahead.
game. I don't exactly hate him for it. He's smart for taking
Doing
advantage
that.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My question was this: what is it about the human beings that don't want clarity and skepticism in their journalism? Right.
I don't know. I don't know if it's, we could apply this to a lot of type of journalism, but yeah,
right.
I think it's more of like, I see Paul Tassi as the same as like other news outlets that just see pinpoint what people are angry at or what they're
and they inflame it.
Yeah, and then
Gamers are especially easy on that.
Yeah, they give a summarization of it. Like, here is your anger in written form, so that you can put this and you can post it on your Facebook and your and say, hey, see, I told you guys. This is what's this is how it is, or this is what's going on. That's not journalism. I mean, that's really not. I mean, that's not even the definition of journalism.
No, right.
That's like internet. We should have a new name for it. It's like maybe just internet garbage.
Crap posting, internet garbage. Yeah.
I mean, it's not going out and getting a story, and giving the facts, of what's going on with it, and it's not letting the reader decide for themselves how they feel about it. It's telling them how they should feel about it. Yeah. It's IGN journalism at its core.
Let me ask you guys this question. So I will occasionally watch I'll watch CNN, I'll watch Fox News, and you can only take 10 minutes before you're just like, oh, they're equally as frustrating to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But do you guys, whenever you're seeking out things, like, do you see a I guess, you guys, Scott, you like Star Wars movies.
Sure.
Is there a journalism where you're like, actually, I like Star Wars. I kind of want to hang out with journalists who kind of like Star Wars too? Or do you kind of seek that, like, I want someone to rip apart the Star Wars just to get the opposing view? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's, well, I don't think there's really anybody out there that I could
like
apply
praising.
that to. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you go to the Star Wars Reddit, good God, but
Right.
as far as like journalism and I look at it as really you could apply that to video games. I mean, there are still websites out there that do just have the news. They just have, hey, this is what's going on. What is it? GameIndustry.biz is a good one I like to go to because they're they look at it like, here is a studio and here's what's going on in that studio. It's not about the game they're putting out. It's about the people that are involved with it. And then here's the company that owns them. It's about the company that owns them, not the developers and not the game they're putting out. You see what I'm saying? So, it's like, oh, here's your gaming news for adults. You go to like IGN and GameSpot. Well, here's your news if you just want to have confirmation about, knowing a game is crappy or, knowing a game is good.
Right.
And that's at its simplest form, obviously, but there's just more websites that feed into that, God of War good, Halo bad, mentality.
Right.
So I don't know. There's no fix to that. You just have to, if just take it for what it is and form your own opinions.
Well, there's something in human nature that does not want that. It wants to just like, okay, I want to be with that group. I want to be like,
well, because it's easier. You don't have to think. You can just have somebody think for you. And if you tie into somebody that you like, if there's like a news anchor or a commentary or a journalist on a website and you like them and because they say things that you agree with, then you're more likely, like Paul Tassi, you're more likely to believe something that they say, which is kind of dangerous because, then we get into that field of, is this studio really in trouble or did these people leave because of this other person? Then you don't know. It's not news anymore.
Yeah, I think people should take more into account like what is, like basically tertiary sources or primary sources, understand where the information comes from.
Yeah. I know, like me, I'm fully in on this games as a service idea, but I would love if an intelligent critic of it really put together kind of a unique or new ideas to be like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be leaning this much into it. This Paul Tassi article is just like what you've been reading on message boards for the last 2 years. These groups, this group of people. It
doesn't add anything. Right.
Doesn't add anything.
Nothing.
And maybe like Thick is saying, it's like, well, he just got a bunch of clicks on that story and he didn't really have to do any work on it.
Right.
He can just he just, I'm sure
it takes some skill to write the article, but that's really where the skill is. It's not necessarily the opinion or other contents in it that's skilled.
Yeah. And I guess I would say, like, if you read that article, it's really not a long article. I think it says on Forbes, you can actually click a button and it says, I'll read this to you auditorially. And it's a 4-minute article, so it's pretty short.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if, Paul Tassi's probably an intelligent person. If he really thought about this on a deeper level, it would take him so much longer to get potentially less clicks, right?
Yeah.
So I was hoping that you guys could fill me with some optimism about the human nature, but you have both failed me.
No. I mean, it's it's the person saying the world's going to end is going to get more attention than somebody saying, no, man, actually, it's cool. We're good. We're doing okay.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So.
All right.
Oh, we can be guilty of this too. So
I know.
It's definitely human nature.
I mean, I definitely. I mean, we kind of we have there's 3 slivers here. It's like Nintendo, that PC, Sony. So there's so we kind of have our I mean, Thick's kind of Thick's Sweden.
I just know, like,
sorry.
I'm obsessed with the idea. If I make a claim, I would love to hear like someone crush my claim, because then it like allows me to like kind of come back with like a better angle, a higher resolution thinking, you might
You
call
mean
it.
you can attack them then?
Well,
no,
it's just,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. I feel like when two people disagree with each other, really what they're doing is they're like building a clearer picture of reality, right?
Yeah.
Because if you just stick with your little group, you just have a low resolution. Like everyone just says the same ideas and they ignore the things that you shouldn't ignore, right?
That's like a life lesson right there. That's
Right.
a quote of the week, actually.
That's good, because we have to remember, and I'm always reminding people of this, is that you can love to play on Xbox, you can love to play on PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever it is, but those people don't know you.
Right.
They don't. When you go to Twitter and you're like, yeah, blah, blah, there's nobody at Sony or Microsoft going, yeah, this guy gets it. This guy,
Yeah.
They don't care. They absolutely don't care about you whatsoever. They're there to make money. Even Phil Spencer, Uncle Phil, he's super nice, but when it comes down to it, his job's on the line. He's there to make money. So if you remember that, and be smart with the articles you're reading about certain things, especially the platform that you're playing on, it's that kind of mentality. While we're playing $70 games now, it's that mentality that we're actually paying to play games on these platforms, where in other situations they're actually free. So just be a little smarter.
Yeah. Scott, you say all that, and today I watched the F1 race today, Formula One, and I have a driver that I like, which is Fernando Alonso. He's the oldest driver, and I'm like, my little tribalism brain is like, oh, go guy that is a multimillionaire. I'm never gonna meet. It's crazy that I'm rooting for a bunch of strangers, and I've picked one stranger to root for, right?
Yeah.
But
but you're not paying $50 a month or $50, $60 a year to watch that guy race, are you?
Right. No.
Right.
No. Yeah. All right. I think all three of us did a great job on the news this week.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Can I get a round of applause, please?
Okay.
Come on.
Guess no. Guess who's
Sound-
getting another
soundboard's
12-hour
blocked.
Discord penalty?
Okay.
Nick, you're getting another 12-hour Discord penalty, right?
Hey, you could take the responsibilities of sounds away from me. It's fine.
No, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. Guys, real quick, let's get into the rumor mill this week.
Okay.
Rumor number one, this one's for you, Scott. CD Projekt Red shuts down PlayStation acquisition rumors.
Yeah.
CEO Adam K.
Yeah.
Adam K says, quote, "So I can repeat what we have been saying throughout the years, CD Projekt Red is not for sale." To which I respond, that's exactly what someone would say
On sale.
if they're getting purchased. Yeah.
Didn't Bungie say that at some point right before Activision? No, maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
It's not like they can comment on it. So
No.
I just don't. They're not a likely studio to be purchased.
Target.
Yeah, I just don't think so. I mean, they do a little bit more than games, So
Okay.
yeah, they have GOG.
yeah, I mean, they have kind of their own.
Saying you're buying Valve in a way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It's
All right.
you never know. I mean, you might wake up tomorrow and they go, "Hey, Sony's buying."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say they are a candidate. They are cheaper, but I don't think they want to be for sale, right? Who
Yeah,
knows?
I would think I would think that would be more of an Embracer Group purchase, just being in, the same part of
Tencent.
it. Yeah. No,
Well,
I don't know about that.
Let me push back a little bit. If Sony approached CD Projekt Red with the Bungie deal, which is essentially like,
Stay
we're going to buy
independent,
you.
yeah.
You can essentially stay independent. We'll make a movie or two of your franchises.
Yeah.
I could see them being like, all right, that seems reasonable, but who knows?
Yeah, I think Bungie, everybody said, "Oh God, these guys, they paid way too little for Bungie." I think they might have gotten a really good deal.
Yeah.
To stay independent, and we know that their next game is going to be multi-plat.
Right.
Sony's getting a little smarter about stuff like that, and also if it's true that they went to Naughty Dog and said, "Hey, this is not going to work. You need to fix this, this, and this." I mean, who better to do that? So,
Right.
maybe it's gonna pay off. I think eventually.
Yeah. Think you agree?
Yes.
Yes. Rumor number 2. Imran Khan. I don't know if he's still affiliated with IGN, but he says that Square Enix is, quote, slightly panicking over Final Fantasy 16 low pre-order numbers, which are tracking below Final Fantasy 15. Thick, I want to hear your take on this.
Isn't this another case of them wanting to sell 10 million to have a successful game in a way?
Yeah.
Well, I would say you certainly don't want sales to be going in the other trajectory.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I don't know what their goals are, but if I assume they want it more than Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, I think for some reason I feel like Final Fantasy 16 will be a really safe game compared to
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like that's the direction they're trending. Because they're doing remakes, but although the remake did change a lot of things, and it was actually a really good remake.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this so far the 16 looks really safe. It doesn't look bad, but I don't know if that will push it to a bigger audience. I know it going into like a more action combat might help, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like the Devil May Cry games sell that much either. I don't think they're
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the Final Fantasy that brings in a lot of new players,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully the game's good though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's all I can say because I will be looking into it. I might buy it near day one because I do have a lot of PS5 credit that I could use for it. So
Cool.
Yeah. I know I've said this to you guys before, but my favorite guitarist of all time was Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And I remember a interviewer, he asked him some question like, is it the hammer or is it the ballad? I can't remember what it exactly was. Is it the hammer or the ballad? And Tom Morello goes, you need both. You need the quiet moments to accentuate the loud moments, right? And what I'm seeing out of Final Fantasy 16 is all hammer. It's all giant crazy stuff.
it kind of that's what they're showing off. Like I'm sure there's gonna be long cutscenes to really.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fill. Was it? Yeah. Fill it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys see that interview where I think Yoshi P said this week, they're like, is there any chance that Final Fantasy goes back to turn-based? And then, Thick, did you hear what he said?
He basically said no, right?
Well,
Or-
he said if we go back to pixel graphics, we have a shot at it. And I feel like a lot of people were upset at him with that because they want a $300 million game to have turn-based battles, even though young people don't want that.
Yeah, that's not the yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe figure out a way you can do both. Some games actually do that. You
Yeah.
can
Well,
select.
they could
you
just
know.
release remasters for their older games. That's kind of what they've been doing.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
You know, like, yeah, that's
little
the Don Matrick answer. Oh, there's just played it on the 360.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I hope 16 does well.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be potentially a Final Fantasy 12 situation in some ways, but who knows?
We will see. Yeah, to be honest with you, I would love it if Yoshi P made a pixel graphics Final Fantasy 17. Just because we
That
know
would
the
be really
development, it wouldn't
cool.
be a 7-year project, right?
It'd probably be
Yeah.
their best-selling Final Fantasy.
Well, I don't know about
we
that.
like Yoshi
but-
P. Yoshi P
Right.
Yeah.
is a rock star. So
Guys, let's move into our final rumor of the week, and this is a big one. This is a cheeseburger of a rumor. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. There's a big Valve rumor this week. Apparently, there's a game called Neon Prime, and a notable leaker called, his name is Tyler McVicker, has dumped a bunch of information about this game called Neon Prime. I think I brought it up once or twice before on the podcast. So you ready to hear what he essentially describes what the game is going to be? You ready for this?
Okay.
First, the game is a mix of Overwatch, Dota 2, and Teardown. So let me continue here, all right?
Okay.
It's played from the third-person perspective. There's some base building. Right now, there's an external closed beta going on, and he expects the announcement for this game to happen this year. The map in this game is huge and includes a bunch of randomness. It's a PvE/VP game. He says it's class-based, obviously, and one of the classes is a commander class that sees the overall battlefield. And he also says his final thing is Valve wants to push esports hard with this title. Now, here's my comment for you guys. Valve has made games like Half-Life Half-Life, Portal, Left 4 Dead, Counter-Strike, and Dota. This is arguably one of the most talented studios in the world, right?
He also
Publishers in the
released,
world.
was it Artifact? Which,
Which was a failure, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's a card game. Wasn't that a card game?
Yeah, it was a card game. So
Get
it's a little
outta
bit more
here.
niche.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that stuff. Yeah. But it's just interesting how, first of all, the description does it get you guys excited?
Entice you.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really.
I always want to see what they do in the PvE space.
All right, so you're more into this than
Yes.
than Scott, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, Thick, it's funny. Me and Scott played a bunch of DMZ together. All right?
Mhm.
And I was, you know, we're talking about like game design a little bit, and I'm telling you, Scott was agreeing with me. He's like, Scott, do you remember this? When I was like, you know, here's
maybe.
kind of what here's what they're doing wrong with the extraction. They should do this. And he's like, that'd be fun. You know, all three of us, you know, you and your wife.
Well, yeah, but I mean, maybe
playing together.
in the context, but it's hard to
Yeah.
tell, you know, just by like a description.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I mean, like you could have a description of like Destiny 2 or
Sounds awesome or it sounds terrible, yeah.
yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? You know, or
Yeah.
you know, any game. It's once you see, or for me, I'm just more visual. If I see
You gotta see
gameplay,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can tell you if that's going to be, you know, worth it,
So-
worth it or not.
Let me ask these questions. What do you guys think they did right in DMZ?
I think they picked a great framework to make a game based on. Meaning,
Yeah.
I like the idea of what I do on Monday impacts what I'm gonna do on Thursday, like in real time.
Yeah.
I can't stand the pinball nature of, I know, Scott, close your ears. Halo is just like, it's like a pinball game. Every 10 minutes, it's the same thing, you know.
Right.
Whereas DMZ, I feel like they can really give you like interesting choices to make during your play style.
Mm-hmm.
Now their execution of it, I thought was kind of weak.
Yeah, that's my next question. What
Yeah.
do you think does not work in that mode?
Time to kill. The time to kill is way too quick.
Too quick?
I say this all the time, but in
Hot
Fortnite,
take.
the
Hot
time
take.
to kill in Fortnite is way longer.
Yeah.
What happens is you can get in these epic 3-minute battles where you're battling a guy, and it feels like you feel like you're in a Dragon Ball Z, like the most epic event ever. In DMZ, it's just like all your engagements are like either I killed that guy real quick or he kills me real quick.
Yeah.
It's like a Call of Duty match, basically.
It's too much like a Call of Duty match, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like I don't. The only time I remember me, you, and our wife together. Do you remember that one extraction point? We were like, there's like a parking garage where like we were kind of surrounding that extraction zone, and a couple of guys showed up.
Yeah.
And I that was a really cool like movie moment. And I'm like, I don't really remember anything else other than that, you know.
Yeah, there have been times where we were calling for an extraction, and you know, we killed everybody. Everything was fun. Everything was good, and then I'm down. Our friend's down. My wife's down, and we're like, what's going on? And it's a guy on a roof with the LMG, and he's just you know. So I see your point in that. As far as like your engagements can be not, I don't want to say fair, but if somebody's on top of a building with the LMG and you're just out in the open, you're just gonna die, you know. And if you're lucky enough, your friend will see where they're shooting from and maybe, you know, get the upper hand in that situation. But yeah, I could see that. I kind of, and you know, with that interaction, I can agree with you on that. It doesn't have to be just like, it doesn't have to have the same parameters as the regular Call of Duty game or Warzone. It can be something completely different. Now, I think that for me, I think what would make it a little bit better is if the PvE aspect to it gets to be redundant and boring.
Yeah.
The enemies are, if there was less enemies but more robust and varied enemies, I think the encounters, you would have to be more strategic. And it wouldn't be like, they're just regular, you know, no, they're doing, you know, whatever, they're gone. Or,
So
here
basically,
comes,
it's all humans, right? It's humans, not tanks or.
There's some vehicles in it.
there's
helicopters.
there's like an armored car, and then there's one helicopter that will that will attack you, and it's really hard to kill, and it's just kind of dumb. But like, there's a helicopter that comes in and drops off these armor ones. But I mean, you throw a couple of grenades where they're landing, and they're done.
Yeah.
You know, so you almost get to where you're looking for those other players just to get a good fight or good loot. These the NPCs just don't really do it for me.
Yeah. I think I've told you this before, but I got to reiterate it. I kid you not, me and my Fortnite partner, we've been playing a long time. I can describe a specific engagement from, I'm not joking when I say this, from 3 years ago. I can say, hey, do you remember that time on the map, there was, it was a snow area, we were on this particular point, and like we had these vehicles, and he'd be like, oh, I remember that, like we were doing this and this and this. Like, it's vivid for some reason. It like sticks to our brain.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of games, it's like you just forget it as soon as it happens, right?
Yeah,
and I just think
that. But I could say the same thing about Halo. I can call up a friend of mine from 2004 ago. Do you remember? Yeah, I bet I could, because I'm not going against what you're saying, and I'm not trying to defend a game like Halo, but I think it really just depends on. It's not the type of game; it's the game. Fortnite is something different. It has different, it's a BR, right? So you play Warzone, you might not have that same, hey, do you remember when, this. It's the fact that you're playing Fortnite, not a battle royale. You see what I'm saying?
Well, let me counter this with you. I feel like I watch a lot of sports, and as a sports fan, you remember the close games, right? You remember when it's tied up, there's 10 seconds left, your team is on such and such line. You remember those plays. I feel like because, Fortnite is like, it's a roguelike, right? It's one life, and, you're either in or out. So you always have super tense moments that it feels like it matters. And I feel like, even though I do believe you that like you remember specific moments about Halo, the fact that you have an infinite number of lives is just like, your brain doesn't value your deaths or your kills like it does in a battle royale.
Well, yeah, that's what makes it a battle royale.
Right. But I think in terms of memory, I think we remember the things that feel important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, Fortnite is not an important game, but it does a better job at feeling like, oh, this actually matters. Like I'm top
okay.
6.
You remember a certain amount, but you're not going to remember like 70% of the games probably, right?
No, right. Yeah, it's not like I remember every one, but I think it's like I can bring up replays where like, my partner's like, oh, dude, I remember this, right? So there, I would say, 10% or 5% or 2%. And from Halo, I can't remember anything about Halo Infinite, right? Now, everyone's different. I do know what you mean, Scott. I do know what you mean. So, but I don't know. Why were we talking about this?
I don't remember.
What were we talking about? Is this about rumors?
It was the last rumor.
This is the last rumor.
Okay, well.
What was it? What was the rumor?
Let me put
There you go. There you go.
Let me put a button in this.
Yeah.
Hopefully this shows up at either the Xbox conference, although it's Valve, so it could if it's a multi-plat, or maybe Summer Games Fest. There's a chance we could see this soon.
I think it'll be PC, right? Because that's where Valve was started out at.
Does Valve have any multi-platform games? What do they have?
Team Fortress.
Is that multi-plat?
Yeah, that's on console as well, isn't it? Isn't Team Fortress 2 on console? It was on console. It was on 360.
It went free to play.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We got no updates, right? Same with Left 4 Dead. This is PC.
Yeah, well, no, Left 4 Dead was on
Left 4
Xbox
Dead was on
as
console.
well. Yeah, it was on console.
But
Both
it was
of
not
them were.
updated after a while.
Right. What I'm hoping is just
no.
Yeah.
Well, don't you guys think like really the industry is like we want to get our game on as many platforms as possible?
Yeah, but
so the fact that it's a third person like shooter, I'm like, you know what plays
Mobile.
great on a. Well, no, I'm like that. The console plays third person games pretty great, right? So we'll see. I hope you're wrong, Thick. I hope you're dead wrong. All right, we got to get into the big talk.
Yeah, we do.
the biggest.
Scott, you start us off, and then Thick, you take it away from Scott.
Okay. Do you want your questions? Is that where we're gonna?
Yeah, let's go. Some
Okay.
questions.
Well, okay. Let's preface. This is about the upcoming Xbox
Right.
showcase,
The showcase on June 11th.
which June 11th at 10 a.m. PT.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was later than that.
Oh,
Or maybe not.
Nate.
what's
We
he
lost
getting?
Nate for a little bit.
Continue.
We're continuing. We're keeping the seat warm. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, these questions are based on. I went back and watched the previous 2022 showcase, which was not bad. It wasn't great, but it's funny to watch these things a year later, knowing that how many games actually came out in that 12 months.
Actually, can we talk about that real quick?
Sure.
So, basically, we finished the 12-month thing, right? Now it's 12 months later.
Yeah.
What has really have they committed to their promises, right? Like we've gotten a lot of the games here.
We haven't gotten Forza. We haven't gotten
No Forza,
Starfield. We haven't
the
gotten
Ara History Untold. That was really kind of like
there was
that's right.
there was several that we haven't seen anything since. And those are provided those are indie titles, but
yeah.
But yeah,
I think majority, over 50% did meet the deadline though. I would say
yeah.
that.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been like mid-June. Yeah, we got Redfall, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, there were some that and of course Starfield's the big one. That's the one that they
Right.
Yeah, which they did miss the deadline for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
I don't begrudge them. I don't begrudge them for that 12-month. I
think
that
they
was
just
kind of
they just shouldn't have said it.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of
Yeah.
dumb. I mean, if they hadn't have said it, nobody would have been. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because we know what we're seeing at these showcases are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Well, I
knows
mean, they were
when.
trying to inspire confidence. They had a weak first half of 2022, right?
They had a terrible 2022 period.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as they announced that they were buying Activision Blizzard, that just
It was,
just the total slide down.
I kind of do agree with Thick. Like they were trying to. I think they're trying to sell Xboxes. They're trying to say to everyone who's watching that showcase, like, "Hey, get an Xbox because look at all these games coming out soon."
Right. Yeah,
Right?
that's the idea. That's the idea of the showcase. Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's get
got
into
predictions, right?
predictions. Yeah. Okay. So these are 5 questions. I'm going to ask you guys.
Now, Thick or Scott, are you answering these as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
All right.
I mean, I can.
Of course I do.
I mean, I've got the answers. I've got the question. No.
Oh, you have the answers. Yeah.
No. Okay. So the first one is going to be this: at the showcase, is there going to be a Halo Infinite announcement?
Well, that's a good question. That is a good question.
Yeah.
I say yes.
Okay.
Like, I feel like it'll be at least kind of short. But are we also including the BR one
No.
as part of Halo Infinite? That will be a separate thing.
So if it says Halo Infinite Tanaka, that won't count as a Halo.
Okay.
Infinite
Well, if
announcement.
that's yeah. Okay. So if I don't think it will be. I don't think it's going to say Halo Infinite anything. But let's just leave it as if it's a Halo Infinite of some nature announcement. Announcement, not just like, oh, look at all the games you can play, and then they show
I say
it.
yes.
Okay.
Because they've been pretty good about announcing stuff for existing titles too. They kind of like shoot
Yeah.
that in.
Okay.
Scott, what's your answer? I'm writing these
No.
down. You're saying no. Okay.
No.
Got it.
Yeah. Something new Halo? I would hope so, but not. I don't think they're going to show anything Halo Infinite.
All right. I'm changing my answer because I think I do think they'll try to remove themselves from Halo Infinite. I think
so.
I think if they announce something, I think it's going to be a new Halo project.
And just to, pay my back. We just now in June got a tweet from 343 that it says they are not currently working on anything Halo Infinite campaign. Period.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
Okay.
what did
Wow,
I say?
Thick
I said
beats the
they were gonna go completely dark.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna announce this. Oh, this lady, shake down, completely dark for about 6 months, and then come out and say something, and then dark again. So
All right. Thick, you getting nervous?
Well, I'll take the L. It doesn't matter.
All right,
I have to be the one to.
No,
choose the
I
other
hope there
answer,
is.
right?
I hope they're like, hey, look at this. We're gonna start. But anyway, okay. So second question: will we see a tease for the next Xbox upgrade?
No.
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 Okay. I'm gonna say
Meaning
yes.
like the Xbox Pro? No. What do you
Okay.
say?
I say yes.
the Series S Pro.
No, it won't have a name on it.
I know.
They're going to tease that what they're working on next.
They're going to show some silicon on the chip.
Yeah, they're going to show some
flashy.
some CGI of like something being built and some developer going, "This is the best thing ever."
It eats monsters for breakfast.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to say yeah.
Good question though, because we split. I like questions where you split.
Yeah. That's what they're for. Okay. Next question. Do you think there will be a pop star / actor introducing a game?
Oh, interesting. A pop star.
Introducing it like pop star.
Wait, introducing it like in person or featured in the game?
It's a live show, right?
I
mean, you're going to it.
I feel like they've been pretty good about having the developers be more upfront, so I'll say no.
Okay.
I'll say yes.
Okay. I'm going to also say no. I don't think they're going to do that this time.
What game would you say they would have a celebrity, Nate?
I would think it would be something that they haven't announced yet.
Michael Schumacher.
Michael
Schumacher, Forza Motorsport.
I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they have the marketing on this, but the new Alone in the Dark. No,
Harrison
wouldn't.
Ford.
Well, I don't know. He'd probably show up if they paid him. But David Harbour, is it? Hopper from Stranger Things. Yeah, he's actually in a game. He's in the new Alone in the Dark.
Oh.
So if they had the marketing for that, I can maybe see him come out because he's a huge gamer. He's a huge WoW player. But I don't think they're going to do that this time.
And I'll say David Caruso for that CSI Miami guy.
Oh yeah,
he's going to come out for Grand Theft Auto 6.
All right? Really?
Yeah. Huh. Put it down. Oh, that's a joke. No. Move on.
He's gonna. I'm trying to think of something he could say when he takes his glasses off.
Have you ever seen an actor?
Looks like somebody just stole my car.
Have you ever seen an actor be so popular and then just no one has seen him again?
Who?
David Caruso.
You know the redhead in CSI Miami?
Yeah, he was in First Blood.
That was that's right. That guy that show was like the biggest show on TV for like 10 years. I felt like. Yeah.
I actually don't know this guy.
Well, it's clear. It's clear by looking.
You would know him if you just Google David Caruso, you'll know who he is.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see.
So anyway, now that I'm picturing him coming out with sunglasses on. Anyway, okay. Next question: Are they going to show anything from the top 3: Avowed, Fable, Indiana Jones?
I would say
definitely yes.
Definitely.
Think so? Okay. I'm also going to say yes in a positive yes, in a wishful yes. I think it's possible that they don't. So that's why I kind of added that. Yeah. I think it's going to be more like, here's all the stuff that's coming out in the next 3 months. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think Avowed is a guaranteed. It seems like
you think so?
I
don't know, man.
I think it's a high probability since he talked about it at the podcast last time.
Yeah, yeah. But
it's who knows, we'll see what happens.
I'm hoping they show Indiana Jones, and just because the movie's coming out on the 30th, they would at least show something. I mean, a trailer or anything. But I don't know. We'll see.
It didn't. Okay, I feel like that movie already got panned by some people, didn't it?
Oh yeah, movies get reviewed like 6 months before they even come out. Okay, so here, this one's a little hot take. How many times will we hear performance mode?
Performance mode,
which is the 60 FPS mode.
You mean how many times will they say 60 FPS?
No.
One or the other. I don't think they'll say 60. I think they'll say performance mode. Performance mode is 60-ish.
And also, performance mode also means like we have multiple modes in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're announcing you have 60 frames per second, that doesn't mean it's performance mode.
Right. And if you say performance mode, it doesn't guarantee 60. So that's why I'm thinking that they're going to be... I think this is going to be something they're going to put a emphasis on because of Redfall having 30 and because of Starfield most likely being 30.
Really?
So, yeah.
I
that's just kind of I pulled that
Do
out
you
of my
Do you
hat.
feel Starfield will be 30 or 60? I'm thinking it's probably 30
Yep.
at this point. Yeah.
that's no, yeah, from Phil Spencer's yep. I think that since he answered that so quickly, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say. At first I was like, I think that confirms it's 30. But he was
It just confirms that
he
there
was
will be an answer.
there
for
was
it.
an
That's all.
answer. So if they're gonna have an answer, then that's gonna come up. And one of the things that you put on a bullet point for a new game is not 30 FPS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like space exploration, sex with aliens, you
And
paint
30
your ship,
FPS.
30 FPS. Yeah, it's not something you would. So I think it's gonna be. Now that I've had time to think about it, I think there's a possibility that they will have a performance mode for it. I think that might have been what the delay has been.
So Scott, you're saying yes, the performance mode will be uttered.
I think it will be uttered. I'm going to say 2 times. I'm going to say
All right.
twice.
Thick, what do you say?
I'll say probably like one time, and it's going to be for Forza.
So
It's going to be
that's a
actually
yes.
100 guaranteed. They're going to say it for Forza in some ways.
That was going to be my number 2.
I have the document. This is the document. You
Okay.
can't see it.
Okay. Did
I'm gonna
you
put
put an NFT on it? Is it signed, ledgered?
Oh, I have
There's
I have a bonus question.
Bonus question. I'm taking the document out. I'm taking it back out.
Has Todd Howard stopped coloring his hair? We'll find out. I'm going to say no.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh,
I
Todd.
think-
it's odd now.
You can't be
Like-
a developer for that long and not have a head of gray hair. Come on. Seriously.
that's
just
true.
just, let it go.
I think once you commit to coloring your hair, you're in it for a while. I don't think people do it for like I'll do it for a
I know,
few
but I mean,
years.
look at Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck still has like jet black hair, and he's 70 something. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Can
gotta.
I-
It's just fake. Yeah,
Can I do a bonus question?
sure. That makes
Okay.
7 questions.
7 questions. All right. There will be a special edition controller shown off.
Oh my gosh, this is the stupidest bonus
Oh
question
well,
ever.
yeah, of
probably,
course.
probably.
Yeah, most likely.
Probably.
Yeah, of some kind. Yeah.
So wait, it's a special edition controller.
Yeah.
They
Or
come
should
out
we
with
say,
one like every
maybe,
3 months.
Yeah. Or maybe was it? I don't think we'll get the Elite 3. I doubt that's going to be happening. Not this year. I just don't see it.
This would be
Well,
a
that'd
good
be-
year to do it.
Yeah,
It would.
but I don't know. Yeah.
And I guess real quick, I got to get the hair colored thing. Thick, do you think his hair is going to be colored, Todd Howard?
It's always colored.
So you're saying yes, Scott?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yeah.
So all
I'm
three of us are
hoping.
saying yes.
I'm hoping he, matures. Grows
And
out
all
of
three
that.
of us said yes on the special edition controller.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Safe
all right.
one.
See this document? It's going under my laptop in the secret spot.
All right. Until
Just like
Sunday.
a James Bond
until
movie.
next Sunday.
Just-
Hopefully
Yeah.
it doesn't warm up too much and the ink
Yeah.
melts.
Oh no.
Yeah, right.
Well, we have a recording of it, so.
Yeah. All right, Thick, take us through the end of the podcast.
Good big talk. Good big talk. Thanks. Oh, let's see. Well, mostly, in tradition, I didn't plan for it, just like Nate.
All
But
right.
I do want to see, what are your hopes for it? Like, what do
Yeah.
you guys want to
I
see?
have some hopes.
I got
I've
those
written
written
some hopes down. Yeah. Scott, you start us off.
I want to see Avowed. I want to see gameplay, and I want to see a release date of this holiday. That's what I want. Also, want to see a Gears collection for PC. Again, this has been hinted like 2 years in a row. It doesn't
Yeah.
get hinted for no reason. Just release the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see Indiana Jones, and I want to see one of their studios show a new IP, and not a. When I say new IP, I mean like, hey, this is what we've been working on for the last 6 or 7 years, and it's coming out next year, or it's coming out soon. It's not like here's a CGI of something we have nothing. It just doesn't even give you a concept of what it is, and just has a studio name. I want somebody to come out and go, hey, we made this, check it out, and it's a brand new IP, at least one. So that's what I'm wanting.
Thick. Do you have any written down?
I have a couple, but I want to hear your thoughts since
All right.
yeah.
I want to see the internet freak out about too many gas titles showing up. Too many live service games. I want basically 100% of this show to have a battle pass. No.
That's a hot
You
take.
think, Scott, you think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
No, I know you're not joking. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, I did say, I said I want to see a lot of gas titles, and then I want to see games that have the potential to sell 20 plus million. Now, as I'm saying that, I'm like, I don't think any Xbox franchises are selling 20 plus million because of Game Pass.
Right.
It just seems like that's
Yeah, and it's always funny to me to see people like pull numbers from Steam on an Xbox game. Look, there's only like so many people playing. I'm like, are you
I
you
do that
kidding
all the
me?
time.
I know,
I do
but I'm
that all
like,
the time.
nobody's playing that on Steam. It's on Game Pass. What's wrong? I mean, there's but
yeah, I see what
but
you mean.
yeah,
I see what you mean.
but yeah, it's Well, I don't know.
No, even then, like Sea of Thieves did really well, and that was always on Game Pass
Well,
on
yeah.
Steam. That's what I'm.
Wait,
yeah.
no, it didn't. It wasn't on Game Pass at first.
At first, it wasn't, right?
Yeah, it
No,
came
it
before
was
Game
100%.
Pass.
It was 100%. It was their
Was it?
first Game Pass title.
I believe you. Vic. I do believe you.
Okay.
It's the first
It
title they
seems like I
released that
remember
was-
buying it, but
I did buy it because I liked the game.
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't have bought it if it was on Game Pass.
I want to verbally slap Scott with some words. You ready?
Yeah, do it.
Scott, if you look at Steam's, I think, top 10 most played games of all time, their highest concurrent numbers.
Counter-Strike.
Hey, I think Halo Infinite is on there, which I think dismantles your theory that no one's playing games on Game Pass. Or no one's playing games on Steam because it's on Xbox.
Yeah.
The fact that these titles can go crazy numbers on Steam suggests that the Steam player base is checking them out.
Well, it's free to play. So if you're a PC player, your platform of choice is going to be Steam. So yeah,
Right.
I would agree
Yeah.
with that. But something like Sea of Thieves or something purchased game like Redfall. Redfall is a good example. That's a $70 game. Nobody bought it on Steam. If anybody's playing it, it's going to be on Game Pass. So
Okay, all right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious if they're going to eventually release a official app on Steam Deck because I think they've been very pro Steam Deck lately.
It could be something they're announcing, maybe.
Maybe like a small announcement, hopefully.
Oh,
I know that there's been people on Twitter talking about they've installed Windows on their Steam Deck so that they can play, all the Game Pass games on PC Game Pass. So I don't know. That's kind of a gray area, because I know Gabe Newell, coming from Microsoft, is very adamant about using Linux. So there's a reason why. So I don't know. Phil Spencer and Gabe Newell get along. They're buddies. They do great business together, but I don't know. I think that might be a little too close.
Neon Prime.
Exclusive to Xbox.
Exclusive. Hey,
Ooh,
I'll take it.
yeah.
I have a couple other things that I wrote down here. All right. I want to see bad graphics. You all know why I want to see that, okay? I want to see it because bad graphics equal high level of
Better
interactivity,
Yeah.
high level of scope, you know. And when I say bad graphics, I mean just graphics that don't look like, you guys are going to hate me for this, that don't look like that Hellblade 2.
Well, yeah.
Hellblade 2 will be fun for a certain amount of people, but
Right.
I'm just like, I don't need that level of fidelity in my games,
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I think Hellblade 2 will probably be a good game, but I think it looks to me more like it's an Xbox / Unreal 5 showcase.
More or less.
Yeah.
I could see it being a God of War-y.
Yeah.
That's what people say that
Right.
the original one was, although the combat was not where God of War was.
Well,
at.
did you guys play Order 1886? Is that what it's called?
Most people forgot about it on PS4.
Yeah, but you played it, right?
No,
Nope.
but I remember it.
I played that whole game.
It took about 3.5 hours, right?
Yeah, it was about a 4.5 hour game. I wish I had not paid full price for it, but it was beautiful. That game was absolutely a graphic showcase.
Still looks good today.
It does, and it was the game that's like, oh, you got a PS4? I'm like, yeah, check this game out. Right? So those games are important. And I thought that game was a showcase. It was a blatant, just
And yeah, no one talks about it nowadays.
nobody talks about it anymore.
It's almost like Hi-Fi Rush. It's almost like Hi-Fi Rush, darn it.
Hi-Fi Rush is not a visual showcase. It's by any means.
I
And
know.
low graphics equals anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. I see what you're saying. I'm hoping that too. I don't mind lower graphic quality if it's going to be a much better game.
And obviously I wouldn't mind like solid art direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been 4 years since Everwild was first shown off. 4 years is a long time.
Yeah.
I know it's had some problems, but it would be nice if maybe that got shown off again, right?
Yeah, that is a really pretty game.
Right. And that kind of feels like the type of game where it's like a little Zelda-y, like maybe they can jam pack a lot into that world without it taxing that Series
It's
S.
going to come back and it's going to be an extraction game.
Extraction.
Yes.
A nature extraction game.
Right.
Extract those
you
animals.
Pick your animal and you'd get in.
Yeah.
You get your seeds and your, whatever.
You go on
get
the
out,
ark.
You make your nest. Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's a Moses game.
Right.
Yeah.
Get to the ark. Get to the ark.
Thick, anything else conjure up in your head?
Well, for what I'm really hoping to see is State of Decay 3, but I think Scott's mentioned they might be there's some development issues.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
But
I would love to see that too.
I do really want to see like something coming out, like aside from Starfield, something else for the fall, really. And I hope that's Avowed.
Yeah.
I think that would be perfect. I mean, we know we're getting. They haven't given Forza a release date. We're going to get a release date on next Sunday. I'm sure,
October,
right?
maybe.
It's probably going to be October. Yeah, it'll be October or early November, and that's most likely probably going to be it. But Avowed, if it's going to get some kind of release, it's probably going to be either next holiday. No, it'll be February, and then of course it'll get delayed into November.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I have an Avowed question I want you guys to answer. So, I'm not a really single-player gamer, but I look at a game like Skyrim, and from afar, I respect it, right? I respect like its impact on the industry and how successful it was. Mm-hmm. When I see Avowed, I'm like, is this just like a smaller scope Skyrim?
It could be.
Like,
I don't know. I mean, we don't know.
We just don't know.
That's the question.
Do we know who's
Obsidian,
making the
right?
game?
Obsidian.
Is Obsidian how big is Obsidian?
I would say they're AA. They're like
a
by
high quality
themselves.
AA?
Yeah, by themselves as a studio.
Okay.
Well, they've made. They
Pentiment.
made.
Grounded.
Yeah, they made. Right, but Fallout New Vegas, which has been said that it's the best. One of the best RPGs and
they
the
make
best
the original
Fallout game.
2 Fallouts as well.
No.
Who was
Now there might be a couple of people from that developer that I can't remember. Was it Black Isle? No. Anyway, there might be some people from it, but they also made what is it? Alpha Protocol, which was not stellar, and they also made KOTOR 2. And they've made Pillars of Autumn 1 and 2. Pillars of Eternity. Yeah.
And also,
so the games that you're bringing up don't strike me as a Skyrim killer studio.
No, but they are. They make good RPGs. They know how to make RPGs.
Right.
Yeah, their pedigree is RPGs. So that's why a lot of people are excited about this. And if you've played Pillars of Eternity, it's. I tried to play both of them. I just can't really go back to that top-down. Super lengthy, story-driven RPG.
it's very deep, though.
It's very deep. It is, but it's a very old play style. As I'm probably sinking 100 hours into Diablo 4. But
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but again, it's two different kinds of games.
And Scott, aren't you big onto Baldur's Gate 3?
Yes.
Which that has the same. That
has kind of the same perspective, but a lot of it's not trying to be one of those old kickbacks, right? It's not supposed to be the boomer RPG like Pillars
Okay.
of Eternity is.
It's
It's
kinda bring it
taking
to
that
modern
right.
day.
It's taking that and bringing it into a modern way of storytelling. And it's not
makes
all
sense.
you walk up to a guy and they're this big and the little text box comes up and you read this
Okay.
whole thing. No, I mean it's
right.
actual like living, breathing people and whatnot.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But they, God, I can't remember. There's so many games that they made that they have a great pedigree. And if anybody could make a Skyrim type game of that level, I think it's Obsidian.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like
agree.
that of all the games that are kind of rumored to be there, that strikes me as the most likely.
Yeah.
Outside of like Forza Motorsport or Fallout 76, which Fallout 76 is going to have an expansion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
actually,
so.
that's-
I mean, they
That
show
might be
up at everything.
debatable. They've been pretty quiet from what people say in the community.
Oh, they have it lately.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
they just got something, but I don't pay
not
attention to
last-
that game.
Like last year. I
Last
think.
summer they had something at the showcase, but
Okay, maybe it is.
I don't know if it was I don't know if it was a high point of the showcase.
Do you guys think
No.
we'll see any what do you call it? Something from Compulsion Games or In Exile? Those have been studios that have been pretty quiet.
And Exile's another RPG studio. I think you might be onto something. They've been really vocal on Twitter. They even made a funny little video about Diablo 4. And they also tweeted a picture. Did you guys get that? I put it on our Discord. Of the skull, and you had to zoom in on it to read.
I
It's
zoomed
like,
in.
Yeah, I remember that.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But I would hope to see something from them. Again, this is the new IP I want. I want somebody to come out and go, hey, this is what we've been working on, and this is what you're going to be playing, soon. Compulsion Games, I don't know. I've heard they've had some issues too.
Right.
But I don't know.
Seems like most of the industry is having issues.
Yeah, I don't think that that's necessarily because it's Compulsion or because it's owned by Microsoft. I
Yeah,
think it's just
right.
it's hard to do things now. Post COVID. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Hey, I have a question for you guys. How many roguelikes are we going to see at this show? You both promised me we'd get one at the PlayStation Showcase. We never got one.
I'm gonna say 0.
You're
I'm
going.
gonna say one.
You gonna
All
say
right,
1?
Vic, I
You
want
can
to say.
put that on the card.
One?
Well, we'll remember that. We'll remember that. I feel like my heart was broken too much. I don't
Do
even
you
want.
remember the last one? We got Gunfire Reborn. That was a roguelike.
I've gone into crazy YouTube rabbit holes where people like rank all the roguelikes. That game gets that.
It's out there, isn't it?
It's up there. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, and it does sound like it keeps getting updated, which is
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah. I think there's a mobile port of it too. Or maybe it came from mobile. Actually,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so.
Guys, a crazy idea. Forza Motorsport as a roguelike. You crash your car,
You're done.
out for 6 months. You need
Hardcore
new
mode.
You need new funding, new sponsors. You got to make phone calls. Yeah.
That would
And you have to
definitely
make-
keep me from running people off the road.
Right. Yeah. Well, do we have anything else to add here?
I can't think of anything. I'm hopeful.
Macho Man.
We weren't. Oh God, maybe.
It might
I mean, it's a chance. I think.
Yeah.
After
heist genre.
after Sony's showcase, it was a little bit of a letdown. I think that I'm hoping that they do a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I have-
panning for.
I
them,
have
but-
written down here. I want to see Microsoft force me to unplug my PlayStation 5, and my Xbox has been collecting dust for like a year now.
Yeah.
I want to see a showcase where I'm like, okay, put the PlayStation on the shelf, put the
Right.
Xbox. You know what I mean?
Right. And I don't think it's Forza, and I don't think it's Starfield. I think it's that game that, like I said, it's going to be this smaller studio that's going to come out and it's going to go, hey, check this out, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Microsoft's like, yeah, this game, whatever, and
Yeah.
it's just going to blow up,
Right.
Because that's what Xbox has done in the past. I mean, just even the first Halo. Halo was not the game that they showed when they showed the Xbox. It was Abe's Odyssey. They're like, everybody's going to be playing Abe's Odyssey. Abe's Odyssey is
that's
going to
right.
be this is going to be the console seller. This is going to be this.
Premiere, yeah.
Yeah, and then when it came out, everybody's like, have you played Halo?" And
Right.
just
I do
history's
remember
made.
leading up to that. I remember being amazed where you remember the first level where you're outside and you could like run across that first bridge.
For
Yeah.
Abe's Odyssey? Or
No, for Halo, the
yeah.
first Halo. I felt like that was like, oh my gosh, that's a true next gen. Like that's
Yeah.
what I gotta get. I wasn't thinking about Abe's Odyssey at that point.
No,
You know,
no, nobody
I remember
was.
seeing Abe's Odyssey and like before the Xbox release, and I thought it looked graphically really good.
It
remember
did.
that
I mean,
part.
there was nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't something new. I mean, it was
not
it was,
a system seller. I know.
right.
Wait, Abe's Odyssey, that was the first 3D Abe game, right? Or the
No, it was still a side scroller.
no,
Wasn't it?
no, Thick, back me up here. It was a 3D game.
I don't remember. I never played it.
I think it was a side scroller with 3D graphics.
No, you're both wrong.
You think so?
Are we talking? We're talking about that original Xbox when the first Xbox came out.
Yeah.
The
launch title.
So the most well-known, I guess we'll call it Abe's Odyssey game. I know that's not the correct term for the franchise. The most well-known and highly reviewed was a 2D title, but then Xbox, I think they had that studio and they made that like a pretty poorly reviewed 3D game. I don't know why I care so much about this.
There was one called
Strange
Stranger.
Wrath.
Yeah.
That was at the end of the. That was at the end of the.
That was a really
console
good
generation.
game where you shot like little critters.
Yeah, but it just came out. It came out way too late.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone was like excited about the next gen console at that point.
Yeah.
I think it was called Munch's Odyssey. Not
That's
Abe's
it.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Munch's
it.
Odyssey. Right.
Thick, was it 3D or was it 2D?
Let me find out. Let me find out.
It was a 2.5. I don't know.
My heart rate is at Breath of Tears of the Kingdom right now, meaning my heart rate is going up. Now, Scott, your heart rate is going up.
Okay, I think it was 3D.
Was it?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
I just don't remember it being. I don't know.
It's not that I should succeed; others must fail.
Right.
Yes. That's the quote of the week, guys. That ends it.
No, guys. Let's end the show. Scott, do your thing at the end of the show, Scott.
Well, you can leave us a comment down below and let us know that you enjoy the show or don't. Let us know, what we can do better or what we can talk about. And you can also catch us on Twitter, The Supply Drop, at Poddropped, and, say hi there. And we also are, of course, on audio, Spotify, Google, Apple, everything.
Everything.
The Supply Drop podcast.
Everything.
Everything. So catch us there.
Yeah. All right, let's throw it over to the professor.
Okay. This is more uplifting. So
Good.
You ready?
Yep.
I'm ready. Drum roll. Do we have a
Okay.
drum roll sound effect?
There is, but we don't need it. We don't need it.
Okay. We don't need it.
Okay. The quote is, you got to know what strength means to you before you go looking for it. It's from Street Fighter 6.
Oh my god. Who said it?
yeah.
Which character said it?
Luke. It's in the campaign, actually.
Yeah.
I have a request. Can we get an M. Bison quote next week?
I will have to.
If there's a good M. Bison quote, because I feel like
Okay,
Street Fighter, he
okay.
might have a good quote.
Okay.
The greatest quote in all of cinema. You guys saw that Street Fighter movie, right? Where Chun-Li is
Which-
saying like, "You came into our village and you killed all the villagers," and when he's like taking his gloves off and like pouring a drink. And then at the end of her 2-minute spiel, he's like, "You must understand, for your father, it was the most important day of his life, and for me, it was a Tuesday." like he was like, "I don't remember any of that. I did that stuff all the time."
It's the Thanos. I don't
Yeah.
even know who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. We'll see everyone on Monday.
Yes.
Indeed.
Monday.
Adios.
Well, for next week,
no,
yes. Right?
Yes, Thick Monday, right?
Thick
Who
will be
knows?
at the show. Why don't we do a live stream with Thick at the show?
Yeah, the man on the street.
no.
You can just
Man,
hold your
pretty
phone
busy.
up the whole time.
Pretty busy.
All right, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Join us roughly a week from now, though.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Enjoy the show. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Adios.
Yeah.